Good evening and welcome to the July 14th meeting of the Board of Selectmen. Everybody rise for the Pledge of Allegiance, please. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Okay, thank you and welcome. We're going here on the agenda. I don't think we have any announcements other than just a quick recap and a thanks out to the folks that worked very, very hard and diligent on the Old Home Days. A very successful weekend this past weekend, so I have a few more comments in Gary's report later this evening. We don't have any appointments this evening. Hearing a delegation, is there anyone who would like to speak that is not on the agenda? Cleo?
As you know, we've been trying to get a lease for the last 3 months. You've asked us to get a survey. We got you a legitimate survey, which the town didn't have. You asked us to check the well and the septic. They're both bad, so we're going to have to do our own. What we are asking for is a lease for 99 years at $1 a year, like you had originally said, and with an addendum that should it stop being a pantry, the town ends up with the building that we have built, along with the septic that we'll put in and the well. So I think it's a pretty good deal.
Okay.
And I've given you a map of where I spoke to Gary this afternoon, and he says to put down whatever we thought we needed. I've never built a building, so I'm not quite sure of the land, so he says just put it there, and he says we'll decide at that point in time. But I did ask for that entrance, and he didn't have a problem with it.
That's the old entrance that went to the one-time trailer that was there, right? No mobile home. He wanted to know the dimensions on our lot. We went back to early 1800s, and there's no dimension. It just gives the Warren property and so-and-so's property, and that's all it gave. So we could not... Dana Libby from Corner Post Surveying, he went to the courthouse, and I spent 3.5 hours there myself, and that's all we found way back to the 1700s. Okay.
So you border us, so you kind of know where your line is with the survey, so I don't think there's a problem. And the road is both Moonpenny Lane and Townhouse borders us on the other side, so you kind of know where we are.
All right, so I think my discussion with Gary earlier today, before he headed home, was that he and Glenn and you will kind of get together and depict everything that we need, other than, I mean, I know that you brought it here.
Mm-hmm.
And we'll get something to Natalie, who's the town attorney, to at least draft something up.
Right, a lease. It's just a basic lease. It's not...
And we will have, we'll put it on the agenda for July 28th.
Okay. As soon as possible, because right now Cis Bank has offered to clear the land for us.
Mm-hmm.
If we can get our lease as soon as possible. We've lost a couple of good grants, not grants, but donations, I should say. One was for $30,000 they were willing to donate to us, but we didn't have the lease, and they felt, hey, it's not going to happen. They felt there was a dead issue, so we lost it.
Okay.
So we're hoping to get more donations. We worked hard at Old Home Days and did very well, $2,074.
There you go.
Good.
Just Old Home Days, so
Good.
we're close to $5,000 in 2.5 months.
So we will have you on the agenda for 2 weeks from tonight.
You sure I'll be on this time?
We will have her on the agenda, correct, Kristen?
You're on there. Okay. Well, thank you.
All right.
Just one question.
Yeah.
Okay.
The piece of property that has been previously donated to you,
Yes.
when and if, or let's say if, this ceases to be a food pantry at some point, and that parcel reverts back to the town, What's going to happen with that other parcel?
I would have to check with Mr. Johnson, because at the time he told me in no way did he want the town to have it, because when he purchased it to build on it, and the town wouldn't let him build on it, so he's pretty annoyed with the town, so he donated it to us as a parking lot, so I would have to get his permission. Even though he's given it to us, I gave him my word that it would stay with the pantry. And we're hoping the pantry will continue.
Well, yeah.
You know, I mean, once we get it built, I don't see it going defunct. Because the other pantry went for 26 years at St. Stephen's, and the only reason it stopped is because the church was sold.
Yeah. When we have our attorneys write up the lease, just on the face of it, you said it would revert back to the town. I just want to make sure that in the document that we have, that it only applies to the portion that the town is using, and not everything, because I don't want 25 years from now another board to have to deal with, you know, a potential confusion that this might have. So the wording should be appropriate.
It should be just the leased land from the town.
Okay.
And the thing of it is, because we're building a building that's going to cost us between $50,000 and $60,000 to build, because we're putting a full cellar. We've got to put a septic tank, a new well, heating, the whole 9 yards. So we have a lot of money we have to raise to get it done. So therefore, it would be a very good building to get back. You know, should you get it back. But the thing of it is, we want to be sure too that we have the land to do with.
Okay.
And because it takes more land to put the septic, it's got to be a distance away from the building and all like that. That's why we ask for more land.
Okay.
Okay.
Is the septic plan going to encroach at all on this piece of property that was donated?
I haven't a clue right now. We have to have the site plan done by Dana Libby.
Yeah.
And I had a feeling that the septic would be more at this end. Because where the building is going to be like here, I figured the septic would be towards the end.
Yeah.
Rather than closer.
I would just like to see nothing encumbered on that piece of property that was donated to you, because when it reverts back, I don't want the town to be in a situation where now we have part of essentially a future investment that's controlled by someone who doesn't really want to have anything to do with the town. The plan is to just use this as parking and extra whatever we would want to do with it. As far as I see right now, the well, the septic, and the pantry would be all on the leased land. Okay.
Okay? Any other questions?
And I would think as part of Natalie's review, she's going to look at the deed that has been transferred to you.
Yes, I gave
And
Gary a copy.
if there's any covenants in that, we just have to abide by the covenants.
Yeah.
There's no covenants.
It was a verbal thing. He asked for my word.
Then 25 years from now,
Well, that's
the words
thing.
aren't there, so.
Right.
Well, the thing of it is, if it's just on leased land,
Yep.
then you don't have a problem.
I agree.
And like that. And at that point in time, he's an older gentleman. Who's to say that the pantry says, listen, we'll give the land to the town?
No, I think we
I might
honor,
not be around then.
we honor his request at this point anyway, and we'll go from there.
Okay, very good. Thank you.
Thanks, Cleo. Representative Prescott, would you like to say anything tonight? Or?
Just get up to speed.
Okay, you headed back up tomorrow?
Thursday.
Oh, Thursday. Okay. Correspondence, we have the weekly treasurer's report. Just as an aside, I believe the 2014, did she republish that with the approvals in it?
I haven't seen the updated one.
Right, okay. So the accruals are still happening in the 2014 report.
Would you like
So
me to ask her something?
no, that's fine. As long as the end of the accruals are going to happen until the end of the month.
Right.
There is a report from the Waterboro Public Library contained in the packet. Motor vehicle agents report for June. EcoMaine recycling report. Levitt Mill Health Center 13th Annual Golf Classic information, if anybody's interested. And a list of the Selectmen's liaison representative assignments are in there as well. Reports from staff and its staff initiatives. Gordon, anything to report?
No, I don't.
John?
I have 3 meetings on the second Monday evening of the month, and 2 of them were canceled, being in the middle of the summer. But the cemetery meeting came off. There were 6 people there, and there's some good energy in that group. As I mentioned, we got a couple people who are applying for membership tonight. And we have some relative youth and energy on that committee, and people that are interested in 1, cemeteries, and 2, most of the people have a real interesting history. So you put the 2 together, and it's a satisfying job. So it's an active committee, and there
Good.
it is.
Good.
Mr. Chairman,
Yes,
if I
sir.
could ask you to back up just for a moment, I do have one thing.
Okay.
The Public Safety Committee, the chair, Mr. Ted Doyle, is preparing, or has pretty much prepared a document that he would like to get on the agenda for the next Board of Selectmen's meeting that has a recommendation on what the committee sees as the law enforcement needs for the town of Waterboro.
Mm-hmm.
So he's going to be presenting something, I guess, to Gary to that effect.
So it will be considered in next year's budget, correct?
I think that would be something that we'd probably want to look at for consideration, yes.
All right. Anything else, Gordon?
No, that's it, thank you.
Wayne?
No, I did miss a meeting. I
Okay.
forgot all about it, so.
Tim?
County Commissioners approved the budget that was sent to them from the County Budget Committee, so the budget work of the committee is done, and those taxes have to be assessed by tomorrow. And that's it.
The jail change.
I don't know, is that a law or isn't it?
I don't know. I guess that's a good question, right? So we'll have to wait until the chaff is sorted out from
Yeah.
that. The hanging chads.
Was that the one that was in the batch that's under contention?
Yeah,
Oh, okay.
it hasn't been decided yet. It's passed both the House and the Senate, so.
But in the county budget, there is X amount for the county jail
It's
operation. That
Based on
was what
what
came from
this-
the state.
what has been in place before. If there's gonna be any changes, then it wouldn't be this fiscal year, it would be in the next budget. So we would see some significant changes to the county budget next year, based on that.
Okay.
Which the county commissioners were actually supporting, the change to the law because it would actually allow them to increase revenues.
Really?
Yep.
Yeah.
Because of what they can charge for prisoners now that they're housing is minuscule, and if it reverts back to they can bill out, then they can get over $100 a day. So it was a revenue source that the county lost. So it's a revenue source that will come back to the county.
That's
Okay.
providing the state paid its share of those costs that it didn't do before.
Yeah.
All right.
Just
Yes,
one
sir.
thing that I've forgotten, it has to, not
This-
committees.
I'm knocking this down, but go ahead.
Oh, I gotta check.
Last year, at this time, we had the first Waterboro Photo Day,
Yep.
and the fruit of which is right out here in the, a big kind of photo poster out on the wall right out here in the town office. This year, the plan is to do this move it up one season, so it'll be done this fall, and probably in the last week in September, and looking at doing it 2 days rather than 1 day, a Friday, a kind of a work day, and a Saturday, a part of a weekend. So that will be coming up, and I'll be talking to you more about it as time goes on.
Okay, good. And then it would be the winter of the year after
And the winter of the year after and spring. and
That's
now-
the one I'm
yeah.
waiting for. That's the one I'm waiting for, the winter one.
Well, there's gonna be a mini ice age, so they'll be coming.
How can it be if the icebergs are melting?
I don't know, I just saw something today that the sun's gonna get snuffed out of it.
Yeah.
That's a church out in Kansas, I think, right?
Anything else from the board? Gary is not with us tonight. Just quickly, a couple of things from his report. There's 56 active building permits out there this year, 16 new homes under construction. So there seems to be some increase. There's a little bit of pressure for having the CEO available on Mondays. I guess we'll have that discussion at some point in time. For those of you that have noticed coming into town from the east, the old, what was known as the Cressy property has been, all of the buildings have been removed on Route 202, 4 and 5 by Patco, who owns that property. And there's more work still being done on a couple of other sites within the community to at least get some of the debris moved. Fire department and EMS, as some of you know, we've already moved and purchased a new white Tahoe from Pape Chevrolet, which was the only one that met the bid specifications. That'll go to the chief. His Trailblazer will go to the deputy chief. And there has been evidently an offer or purchase order issued for a 2007 pickup from Bill Dodge, which is the utility vehicle that will be for the fire department, which was voted on at town meeting. And we've had some discussion, probably would open that up, I think, to the board relative to the purchase of, or at least the placement of a purchase order for the replacement ambulance that was approved at town meeting. You know, it won't be funded for another year, but we need to talk about discussion of bid, no bid, those kinds of things. So we will talk about that later. The Benefit Free Clinic called to thank Waterboro for its past financial support and to inform the municipality that they are closing the end of September. The mission is accomplished with more than 100 citizens now on the affordable health care program. So Benefit Free Clinic, for those of you that don't know, will be closing at the end of September. We're still a few bills coming in from last year that will be accrued into last year's numbers, but we expended about 97% of the budget, and we've collected 102% of the projected revenues. So all of that is good news. And a thanks goes out from the town administrator to the revitalized Old Home Days Committee. 15 and more members. With great Old Home Days parade, long day of celebration. Traffic and the occasional medical emergency were handled well. We had a little mutual aid from another neighboring department on Saturday night. Traffic flow worked well, and I guess they cleared out within 30 minutes. You turned West Road into a 2-lane highway with everything flowing in one direction, so that worked out well. Anything else on reports of staff and initiatives? Nothing new business. We have before us discuss and vote to approve and sign a quitclaim deed for property at map 8, lot 25B, location of 51 Roberts Ridge Road. What is your pleasure? This is back taxes and foreclosure liens have been resolved, requiring that or allowing that the property be turned back over to the owners through a municipal quitclaim deed. What's the pleasure of the board?
Was this one resolved, or was this a bankruptcy property?
Well, it says the Bank of America, but it would appear that it's the deed, quitclaim deed is in the original owner's name. So I guess the bank.
Because the law, we get the, we'll remove from bankruptcy auctions.
Yeah, it was originally in bankruptcy,
Okay,
and the town couldn't foreclose on it, but
that's been resolved,
Right.
okay.
so this would issue a quitclaim deed back to the Tatros, I guess is.
I would move that we sign the board sign the quitclaim deed to revert the property back to the previous owner.
Second.
I'll second it.
Been moved and second that we sign the quitclaim deed. Any discussion? All those in favor? Opposed? Motion carries.
Gets it back on the tax man.
Gets it back on the tax map, right. The vote, discuss and vote to accept committee member resignation. We have before us a letter of resignation from Sue Rocray. She has just been assigned a new position at Bitterford Savings, and it will tie her up more and out of town, so her availability to serve on the Economic Development Committee has been affected, so she is resigning from the Economic Development Committee.
Would
So,
make a motion to accept her resignation with regret. I know that she's served on both of the EDC committees over the past number of years, and she was a very active and contributing member, so it's unfortunate to see that she's not going to be able to participate anymore.
She's definitely a friend with Bitterford Savings too, so
Right.
she's a valuable friend to keep.
Yeah,
So-
it's unfortunate that she's graced with a promotion of sorts, but we end up, being the loser.
Yeah.
But we're happy for her in one sense, and
so does someone want to second this, or did somebody second? Been moved by Tammy Jo,
I'll
seconded
second
by
it.
Gordon. Any further discussion? All those in favor? Opposed? Discuss vote on committee appointments. We interviewed 3 folks tonight. What's the board's pleasure?
I would make a motion to appoint James Southworth to the Economic Development Committee, Shauna Marino to the Cemetery Committee, and Kelly LaRue to the Cemetery Committee.
I'll second that.
Okay, it's been moved and seconded to appoint 3 names as mentioned. The only difference, so that Christina knows, is Shauna Gilmore is now Shauna Marina.
Oh,
Marino, she got married or something over the weekend.
All right.
So any discussion on any motions? All those in favor? Opposed? So be it. Discuss current board and committee vacancies, just as a kind of a point of information. We have multiple vacancies. So if anybody has any interest in serving on a committee, or anybody on the board knows of folks that might be interested. Assessing Board of Review, we have 1 vacancy. The Budget Committee, we have 2. Cemetery Committee, although we've appointed 2 more members this evening, the more the merrier. There's no specific number for that. Community Garden Committee is the same thing. Anybody that's interested in that. Conservation Commission, we have 3 vacancies. Economic Development Committee, we still have 2 vacancies. We kind of received a resignation done and appointed someone, so that's netted out to still 2 vacancies. Fair Hearing Committee, 1 vacancy. Old Home Days Committee's always looking for more members. Parks and Recreation Committee, we have 2 vacancies. Planning Board, we still have a vacancy. It would be nice to fill that up so we have a full board. Public Safety Committee, 1 vacancy. Road Review Committee, 1 vacancy. Transportation Recycling Committee, we have 3 vacancies. There's a committee that we really need to get back going, especially with some of the things that are in the forefront of recycling and whatnot. So anybody that's interested in recycling, or especially when we're looking at potentially the next step being recycling organics, there's an great opportunity to get involved. In the Zoning Board of Appeals, we have 2 vacancies. We really need to fill that so that we have a full board, so that we can react to any appeal that comes down the pike. So, any interest from anyone out there listening tonight, or please put in an application.
Yep. Just a small tidbit, but some of these committees, if somebody's just got 1 night, 2 nights out of the year that they could, some of these committees don't meet all the time.
That's right.
So don't think that you've got to be involved every week. The Zoning Board of Appeals, last year they met once. The year before we met twice. So don't think that these committees all meet every month or every week. So
Right. The Fair Hearing Committee, I don't know, is the
I
last time
I was on
they
that
met.
Fair Hearing Committee for 3 years, and I think we met twice out of 3 years. So
And the assessing Board of Review is the same thing. That's very, very little activity, but it's an interesting committee if you want to get on it and understand assessing and whatnot. You don't become an assessor overnight, but at least you understand a little better of some of the things that are done.
but to keep the town going, we need all these committees.
Absolutely, yeah.
and need members on it. So if there's anybody out there that could spare a night or 2 a year, some of these committees could use their help.
Okay, item E under new business, discuss vote to schedule a workshop to review town ordinances. I think we've kind of, Christina and Gary and everybody's kind of compiled a list of those ordinances, and I think we need to at least have an evening where the board can look at, because I think some of these we're going to be able to just put in a pile that says the action is that we got to ultimately have a board vote to suspend that ordinance or whatever. But I think when we really get down into the meat of working on them, it's going to take a while. But I think the initial meeting is something that we could probably do in an hour and a half, and have a pretty good discussion to launch the whole study.
I think there's 46 or 8 of those in there, and probably 10 or 12 of them can be thrown off to one side because either the state or the
Right.
town ordinances have overridden them because they're outdated.
So what's your thoughts on that? We have a workshop next week. And that workshop is going to be the first meeting of the comprehensive plan kind of group or whatever to launch that hybrid committee, if you will. And we need to do this sooner than later, but probably the first available, not unscheduled night would be the 4th of August.
Yeah, that's what I'm looking at.
So
4th of August works for me.
Pardon?
Works for me.
What works for you? 4th of August? Started at, just want to do it at 6 o'clock, 6 to 7 or something, and let everybody.
6 to 1 we're finished.
Yeah,
You know.
right. Yeah, we're not gonna rework ordinances that night, but at least we can put them in the appropriate pile, right?
Yeah.
This has got a lot of work, this has got no work, those things, so.
Yeah.
So how, nothing scheduled for the 4th? So we can do it for the 4th?
The 4th is available, yeah.
Okay,
Very good.
all right. I'm not sure we need to vote on that, but that sounds like that's okay. Gary and I had a discussion, we added item F on here. There is interest on a piece of property that's located off in the West Road. We believe that, I think when we had the tax title property list out, this was one of the properties. Trying to find out how we acquired it and whatnot, so there's a little research, but there is an interest by, I believe, in a butter to purchase the property and harvest the what timber or what wood is on it. So we'll have more to come on that. Gary, because he left early, didn't have a chance to pull out all that information, but that is up off, like I said, up off the West Road. And Gary's been approached, and then the individual approached me as well. So the board will have to.
Somebody probably ought to look at it, see what there is for timber on it.
Well, yeah. The other thing is whether or not it's truly landlocked. The conversation is that I think the conversation we had was in and around, well, the land trust didn't want it because it was landlocked. So we need to figure out whether or not it was landlocked, wasn't landlocked, how we came acquired of it. So, and then you're right. I mean, we should look at it if there's a significant abundance of harvestable wood or trees on it. Maybe it's something that the town wants to do, or put it back on a tax roll.
I mean, we should at least get the price of the timber out.
Right.
Somewhere near the price of the timber.
So we will bring that back at the next meeting. Old business, discuss possible land parcels for additional athletic field space. Gary did put together, I think everybody had it in front of you, potential athletic field site report. This is with regard to the properties that are on Townhouse Road that were part of Townhouse Ridge 2 subdivision. There are actually 3 lots. So if you look at just the legal size, which is the second map in the package, you'll see that about midway of the page there's a lot 83, now called 83A, which says Washout Town, the Washout Brook Town Open Space. Then there were 2 additional open space properties, and for whatever reason, these were all identified as lot map 11, lot 83. So Bob has now gone in, Consul has gone in and Trio, and it's now 83, map 11, 83A, 83B, 83C. But the 2 parcels, 2 parcels border the Killick Drive cul-de-sac, and the other piece of property that says town open space is further up back towards the town hall here on what was identified as 8323. He has a proposal here for the property that borders the backside of the Killick Drive cul-de-sac, and we did pull out a topographical map that shows the elevations, and you can see that there's a fairly significant amount of earth that would have to be moved.
Are we looking at the same map? Because the one I have highlighted in yellow is not at the end of the cul-de-sac. It's actually the one that's almost across from Brookside Drive.
No, that's, yeah, the one that we were originally talking about was way up by where Pheasant Run is. It says, if you look at this map, it says Washout Town Open Space, Washout Brook. The word washout is, okay?
Yeah.
That was the lot that we thought we were originally talking about.
Yeah, there's a brook that goes right through the middle
But
of
that is town open space. The one down by the Brookside Drive entrance is open space, and then beyond Brookside Drive, the Hollis Road, you
Right.
can see it, that's another piece of open space.
Yeah.
So the second map that he identified, or the second big map here, this tabloid-sized piece of map, is the, as you can see, it's right by the Brookside Drive entrance.
Yeah.
And the brook runs, which is called Washout Brook, I guess, would appear to be a wetland delineation that really surrounds the property. So when you start looking at elevations, you know, you got the highest elevation there of about 335 feet, and the lowest elevation there at about 305. So there's about 30 foot of topsoil that looks like it would have to be removed. And in his letter here, or in his description, he's estimating that, you know, you're really looking at $150,000, $300,000 number to create a couple of, or to create a recreational field.
What is a piece of property down here on Belanger Drive? There's 2 or 3 acres down on Belanger Drive, and I think that abuts the school property that was left in that subdivision that was open.
It abuts
space.
who? What property?
Belanger Drive,
Right.
and I think it abuts that school property.
Oh, the middle school property?
Yeah,
That's the one across from
Yeah.
the old Woodies.
that was
Right.
open for open land or playground development when that development went in.
So it was
That was-
identified as.
That's flat land.
Yeah.
I don't know. We'd have to check that subdivision, but when that was approved, it was 2 or 3 acres of recreation.
Yeah, I guess the
Of
question
open
is
space.
does that property, is that property owned in common with all of the people in that subdivision?
I'm not sure,
Yeah.
but it was meant to be a ballpark.
This property,
This one here was also meant to be
Right.
some type of a playground when that was approved as a subdivision, and it was a toss-up to who should take that gravel out of there, and it never did get really answered when it was approved.
yeah, and I think that according to information that Doug had here a few weeks ago, this was proposed, and I guess at the time, and I don't, certainly hasn't been in my most recent years back on this board, but there was no desire to invest the money to create a field here.
You know, also, we're looking at, and we have looked at the last several years of the business park. So if you're talking about $350,000 to level a field for recreation, although also that money may be what is needed to develop a business park.
Well, I
We
think,
got more than one kettle going here.
Well, that cost assumes that the town is gonna do it, but if, I think, that- weren't we bantering back and forth the idea of having some type of contractor do like an in-kind trade, that they would level that property off in return for, you know, some of the gravel and, you know, out of there and loam, so that it wouldn't cost us that $150,000, $300,000?
well, I think the other conversation that we had with Mike Hayes when he was here was, if there's a cost, who's gonna absorb that cost? And I think they were interested in looking at what can they get for volunteers, and he seemed to think that they could cover a fair amount of work just based on the families that are involved in youth football and their contacts. So
I'll
I
just-
think
but
that's
it's
something
I'll
we
get in
can
touch with
support
them
too.
again and find out what
It's,
resource they
Yeah.
have.
it's one thing to say we've got a flat piece of land and we got a whole bunch of volunteers
Right.
willing to put it into a field. It's another thing to say that we've got a piece of property with 30, 40 foot drops in elevation that
Yeah, it needs some
takes
heavy
a significant
Could
amount
say-
of.
Right, but I still think that, we need to have that conversation with them and say, at this point in time, we don't have the money in our budget for this.
Yeah.
If you want it, what's your dedication to it?
Yeah.
Yeah, as I mentioned before, we've certainly talked about possibly budgeting money for a business park, and that's part of a big part of the 2020 plan. We've been talking about that for a number of years now, so.
Yeah, but I think it's a fair put that, and that's, I guess, let's go back to that meeting that Mike was in here and talking. I really think that, we have a recreation department here, and I don't want to put this on Mike, but at some point in time, the recreation department has to look at the future availability of sites, right? Whether it's owned by the town, whether it's like the Leighton Ball Field, as I call it, over, I guess that's the name of it, right?
Yep.
Over off of Strong Oak Brook Road. I mean, there are, and that was done by a contractor that built the field. I don't know what use that field has other than Little League or whatnot. So I think that at some point, between Gary and Mike, there has to be some look-see of how many recreational fields owned or not owned by the municipality or in the community, and what's being done to, the real sad part is we got the middle school over there with all of those recreational fields that they say they can't use because of various reasons, rat, grubs, you name it. I understand that there's going to be an issue for the.
That's called lack of maintenance.
Well, I agree, and that was not to beat a dead horse about this new complex that they're going to build, but we didn't maintain the first complex. But so, and the real issue that's facing the football league this year is that Mike has to redo that Lions field outfield. So there's got to be some work done, and whether or not that can be maybe held off until spring, or it's got to be done this fall, I don't know. But they may very well be without one location to run their practices and stuff. But
Realistically, we buy our sand from somebody, Frankie Carroll or Dayton, but that gravel that's over there on that townhouse road is nothing but sand. So we do have a use for it here in town, and it could be used with the right permits and eventually have a ballpark over there.
So-
You're talking $150,000, but they probably figuring $3 to $5 a yard to haul it out of there. So it's worth $3 a yard laying there in the ground.
So I think there's got to be some more work done before we. And I think maybe it comes to just a meeting between Gary and Mike and Mike Hayes and that organization to say what is it.
Yeah. My whole question on that piece of property here would be whether you got sight distance enough to get an entrance in there, because that's right on the bottom of that curve.
Right.
Yeah.
And it's not a friendly curve, believe me.
And you got the other two properties, but those aren't the only properties that the
No.
town own either. So, and as you said, there's a whole bunch of stuff that's been put into conservation easements when they built out subdivisions. So whether that conservation easement is owned by all the people in the subdivision, or I don't know, as many of them have been turned over to the town. But
Flat piece of land out behind Dollar General.
yeah,
Well, I'm sure that'll be developed.
Yeah, oh yeah, it's gonna.
That'll be prime commercial.
Anything else on this? We'll roll it to the.
I'll get back with Mike and get back with the board.
Okay. Where are we here? Other, discuss and vote to approve the minutes of June 23rd.
So moved.
Seconded.
Any discussion? All those in favor? Motion passes. Pending decisions. Week's action list. Christina, you got 3 new committee members to round up. And,
Will do.
Speaking of committee members, has Woody come in to see you? He was going to be on the cemetery committee too, I believe.
I think he already is.
The biker?
Yeah.
Well,
Yeah.
He doesn't have an email or anything. He says, isn't somebody going to contact me? I ran into him up
Yeah, I
at
have
Reynolds.
contacted him. I'll follow up with him.
He
Oh,
was at
okay.
the meeting last night.
Oh, okay. All right, so that's all taken care of. He ran into me
I'll
up
call
at-
him and make sure he's all set.
Yeah, because he ran into me up at Reynolds and was asking me about it. And I said, just go in and see Christina. I said, we voted you in, so.
Yeah.
all right, so discussion of agenda items. Public safety, you want to bring Ted in next week?
I think he's going to actually submit something in writing to the town
Okay.
administrator and is waiting for to be put on the agenda at that time. I got an email here somewhere.
All right, so we're waiting on him. It's
We're
not-
waiting on him. Yeah, but I'm just giving the board a heads up on it, that's all.
Okay. Take the West Road property, we'll roll that to old business. Christina and Gary's got to do some scratching on that. I guess we either in Gary's report or whatnot. Where do we stand on salt shed? I know they did some testing down there on with the town engineer to look at the subsurface, and I guess just an update on a couple of road projects. So there's capital.
Glenn
So-
wanted an opportunity to have a workshop with us too, and we said after town meeting.
Yeah,
we'd get
so
with
maybe that's how much time Glenn would need with us. Glenn,
him. About an hour.
I'm not sure.
I think he had said about an hour.
Okay. You want to try to do that after your next meeting?
yeah, and we're going to have an executive session with the town administrator.
And then we have the food pantry lease, right?
Food pantry. Yeah, I think that would be kind of the first review of that lease. And I know they're in a hurry, but the lease is not gonna, I would guess we're gonna review it in a little bit in depth before we just sign it off. But
And just to clarify, the workshop would be after your regular business meeting, followed by the executive session.
yeah, I guess let's put the workshop with Glenn off for another 2 weeks, because I think we get done with the regular section. We need some time with the town administrator's evaluation. I guess that would come as precedence.
So that'll be the first August meeting.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Hey, Mr. Chairman, he's going to submit his proposal to the town administrator on July 17th, so it'll be at some time subsequent to that.
Okay. All right.
Dennis,
Yes.
I've got a document here. Time Warner is in the process of merging with Charter Communications. I guess the Comcast thing is off the table, so I don't know if you want to make that an agenda item or just have me submit it to be in your informational piece there.
Yeah, I guess just put it in as a communications document, right?
Yeah, it's nothing.
Because the only action that we'll take is the franchise agreement would probably,
We'll transfer.
will transfer, right? And then we probably won't have, that's probably the language is already in that to transfer, right?
Yeah.
Should that be so? Yeah, I don't know if this is gonna go any better with Charter Communications as the Comcast thing went, so who knows? Anything else, folks? If not, the reminders will be scrolled after the meeting. And I would be remiss if I didn't, from the board, wish one of our board members a happy birthday this evening. We won't mention any names,
But who looks older on them?
Thank you. I've officially hit the mid-40s.
Just remind us to, we need the deed signed and the minutes signed, so I would entertain a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Seconded.
All those in favor? Opposed?